Government agencies, like all enterprises, are working hard to secure increasingly dynamic and highly distributed IT environments. For officials responsible for securing government agency IT systems and data, the job of defending today's dynamic perimeter has also become increasingly complex. I'm Wyatt Cash with Scoop News Group, and here to talk about how the government IT community is keeping up with those challenges is Peter Romness, cybersecurity principal in the CISO Advisors Office at Cisco. Peter, thank you so much for joining us. And let me start by asking, how do you see the government market in general and the changing network typology at agencies? How do you see their evolution towards a multi-cloud environment reshaping the way they secure their perimeter?
Well, I guess the first thing I'd say is what perimeter? This whole idea that our people want to connect from wherever they are, that they have all kinds of different devices, and we have, things like thermostats and cameras and industrial devices on our networks. And we have our application and our data in clouds all over the world. There really isn't a perimeter, or another way of looking at it might be saying that you need to put a perimeter around every asset in your environment. Of course, the buzzword for this is zero trust, and I know some people are sick of hearing it, but it does kind of encapsulate the idea. So I'm afraid to say that the term zero trust is here to stay, and it kind of addresses how we go after what's now called the deperimeterization that has gone on in our environments.
Well, I appreciate your point about zero trust. And I know we're not leaving firewalls out of the equation altogether anymore, but how do modern firewalls help organizations build dynamic perimeter defenses?
Well, yeah, and there's been a lot of talk about firewalls, but I kind of like to say this is not your grandfather's firewall anymore. And in fact, the firewall has gone beyond the capabilities of what used to be called a next generation firewall. What I like to say is that firewalls have become security facilitators now. They do the old firewall things, but they also become a container for security tools. Things like antivirus, intrusion protection, intrusion detection. And they also facilitate behavioral monitoring to look for anomalies and known bad behavior. They also provide the ability to have a security tunnel to all of your endpoints and all of your assets in the multi-cloud environment. So, as things become more dispersed, if you're managing the security of all those things, you need to have a way to communicate with them. And so the firewall now provides the ability to have a secure tunnel so that you can have that management capability.
That's a lot of capabilities for modern firewalls. One in particular, though, I'm curious about is how do modern firewalls, what are they offering in terms of the ability to filter encrypted traffic across the multiple networks?
Yeah, well, there's been encrypted traffic for a long time going across our environments and across our firewalls. And the amount of, or the percentage of encrypted traffic has gone way up and we're starting to get in an asymptotic curve that goes right up against 100%, where most of the traffic is becoming encrypted. If you try and decrypt all of your traffic and then inspect it, it really hurts your capabilities as far as speed of your network, usability for the users. They have long wait times and things like that. So the thing is that if you can tell what is in the traffic without decrypting it, then that's a good thing. So an interesting thing about an encrypted packet is that what's not encrypted in an encrypted packet is all of the header information and all of the footer information. And so, at Cisco, we've been working with headers and footers of packets for a very long time, so that we can look at the metadata of those things, and we can decrypt or we can detect malware in encrypted packets without decrypting them. And so that really helps with your performance. It helps that if you want to maintain confidentiality, it also helps. So there's a lot of things that you can benefit from being able to do that, and we can do that now. So if you haven't looked into that, I'd recommend that to most users.
That's a really interesting development. I hadn't appreciated that. Maybe lastly, Peter, what recommendations would you offer government leaders as they build out their security strategies, and maybe more specifically their network security strategies for the upcoming year?
Yeah, so the zero trust buzzword is here to stay, especially for federal leaders. They've been mandated to move toward a zero trust environment, and a lot of those deadlines are coming up. So that is an important thing. And when I think about zero trust, I think about the idea of zero trust is that for every connection to every asset in your environment, that there's a risk-based trust decision that is made before allowing that connection, and then ongoing. So if something changes, that you can change the connection if needed. And so that, to me, that's what zero trust means. So as leaders move along, as with any project, I don't recommend that you eat the whole elephant in one bite. You take it one bite at a time. That means have a plan, but also know where you're going, and then have incremental steps to get there. One thing that I've seen is that if you can find some quick wins as you move along, by quick wins, I mean something has a fast return on investment, then that really helps. It gives you the protection very quickly, but it also helps your program move along. The people on your team feel good about it, so they're encouraged to move along. Leaders who are funding it have warm and fuzzies, and so they're more likely to help you. And in fact, in the presidential orders for cybersecurity, they talked about implementing multi-factor authentication first. And that's one thing that you can get really fast ROI on, or a quick win, like I was talking about. Another thing that might be worth doing is something like DNS protection and other cloud-based protections that you can implement very quickly. So I guess that's the main advice I have to folks. It's not a one and done thing. It's an ongoing effort to keep our networks secure and our people safe. But if you go about it methodically, you look for quick wins, I think it helps quite a bit.
Absolutely. Well, Peter Romness, thank you so much for taking a few minutes to join us here and share some of your insights about securing today's networks in government in an increasingly dynamic and distributed environment.
Thanks, Wyatt. It's always great to talk to you.
Thank you.